Today we kick off a new project series making a modular D&D city using some parts from the Dollar Tree that usually get overlooked. So, I said some stuff from the Dollar Tree, and this is going to be them. These are some cheap little $1.25 doll houses that have a few extra parts, and the windows and the door are removable. But they're a pretty good scale. Each floor on them would be about 2.5 inches, which is perfect for the kind of scale that I'm looking for a D&D city. So we're going to use these today to make a few modular houses. Alright, so I removed all the windows and the doors, and there's a few things that we want to get rid of, like these little gables on the roof, and then there's a couple of pieces attached to the side that kind of allow things to connect to other little houses. We're not going to need those, so using a pair of cutters, I'm just going to roughly clip off all the sections that aren't going to be needed, and then I will trim those up off camera using a utility knife just to kind of make the edges a little bit more clean and smooth. Now, these are going to be pretty nice because they make a very nice solid framework to work with, and it's only like $3 for a single house, and then just a few little extras that kind of get added on to dress it up. So I trimmed up 2 of them, and next thing we're going to do is cover up all the holes. So I'm using a little bit of chipboard here. This is the stuff that you find in the back of a legal pad. You can also buy it in bulk off of Amazon, or occasionally you can find it at craft stores and things like that. So I'm just going to use it with a little bit of hot glue to cover up all of the areas that I don't really need showing through. And for the roof here, I'm just going to reinforce it a little bit with a little bit of extra hot glue. And then using some more hot glue, I'm just going to tack all of the chipboard pieces over all of the window sections, and this is just going to be a nice little reinforced panel that I can do some stuff over as the project goes on. Since these aren't going to be openable, they're just going to be a set down and use as a kind of backdrop terrain filler. I don't really need them to be openable to have a playable interior, though I might do something like that in the future. I haven't decided yet. So we just need to cover all these up, and then we'll put some like single panel windows or doors and things like that on the outside. So I put the roof back on and then just kind of hot glue it in place to make sure it doesn't move. And then the corners of the building have this kind of little weird angle to them, so I'm just going to cover that with a little bit more chipboard and trim it off the bottom so that it's nice and flush with the base of the building. Alright, a little bit of reinforcement with a little bit more hot glue, and then I will do the rest of them off camera. So now we need to put the 2 halves together. Now these don't quite perfectly line up. They're a little bit bowed and kind of misshapen in a couple of places. So I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue on the inside just to kind of tack everything together and hold it all in place. And then using a little bit of tongue depressor and some craft sticks, I'm going to reinforce the top and the bottom of the build just to kind of hold everything in place and have a nice reinforced surface. Then coat the edges of my little reinforced areas with some hot glue, and then use a little bit more hot glue to fill in all of the cracks on the sides. Now, hot glue has a slight tendency to kind of snap off, so I'm going a little heavy on the reinforcements around the pieces that I'm using to fit everything together, just to make sure that nothing really comes off over time. Alright, so now we're going to use some coffee sticks to add a little bit of wood trim and framing around the entire piece. So what I'm going to do is do a full wrap around the bottom edge, and then do a few little upright supports to kind of look like it's holding up the roof a little bit more effectively. Now, you can do the full wraparound and then do the upright supports. I'm going to do a combination of both of them just to kind of give a little bit of variation on how everything is displayed. So what that's going to look like is there's a upright section and then there's a piece of framing in between it. Now, once I get the uprights in position, I do a little bit of trimming as needed to make sure everything fits flush, and then I will also put in a section to kind of represent the windowsill or the edge where the window is going to rest up against. Now, the side of the roof has this little kind of a corrugated section, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to do some slight overlapping of some wooden planks, just to kind of give the impression that this isn't necessarily a section of the roof, but a section of wall panel that kind of slopes inward. And I think it gives a nice little texture. Then, using some cereal box roof shingles that I pre-made off camera, I'm going to do the kind of typical staggered formation to kind of give a nice little roof structure. Now, I do show how I make these shingles in the Modular Keep series, so if you want to see the full process, you can check it out there. I might end up doing a full video just as a tutorial for how to put them together, so keep an eye on the channel for that in the future. But it's basically lay out a grid on some thin cardboard. I like to use a 1/2 inch by a 3/4 inch grid for that. So now I'm just going to use a little bit of coffee stick to kind of make some cladding and some cover for the edges of the roof, just to kind of disguise the little section where the roof shingles meet the wooden slats, since it doesn't quite cover nicely, and I didn't really want to do a whole bunch of overlapping roof shingles for that section. Now for the top, I use a popsicle stick to just cover up the top of the roof section. This is just to disguise the fact that there are no shingles across the exact top of the roof. And as a bonus, if this is used in like modular wargame play, you can set a model on the top because it's a nice flat surface. Alright, so with that done, let's go ahead and paint the house. So I took it outside and gave it a base coat in some camouflage flat brown. And then using some raw sienna, I do a fairly heavy dry brush, almost an overbrush over all of the wooden trim sections. This gives it a really nice kind of wooden timber appearance. Now for this section on the side of the roof here, I kind of wanted to preserve some of the darker sections, so I tried hard to not really mess up any of the deeper shadowed areas. Okay, with that done, we're going to use a little bit of some warm gray to add a little bit of weathering. Now since all of these pieces are on the outside, I made sure to apply it to all of the wooden sections. So now for the roof, I'm going to go with a nice deep green. Now this is going to be a nice kind of earthy, warm coloration that kind of gives it a little bit of contrast to the keep, but I think it's a really nice color to work with, and it's my D&D world. I can make the house roofs look kind of however I like. So I wanted kind of a gradient coloration, so I took some ultramarine blue and did a reverse brush on all of the shingles, just to kind of give it a little bit of a color change. Now once this dries, it's going to be very, very dark and kind of blend in with the green. So now to tie everything together and kind of bring a little bit more life to the roof, I do a fairly light dry brush of some light green, just kind of starting from the bottom and brushing upward against the grain on the roof. And this just kind of brings a highlight to all of the edges of the roof and really ties everything together, gives it a really great pop of color. Alright, so now let's add some windows, the door, and the chimney. So I was thinking about doing these on camera, but I think it'll actually be better to just show the process for attaching them, and then I will do a full tutorial on how I make the doors and the windows ahead of time, and just kind of save those for a second video off camera. So tutorial on those coming soon. So to attach them, I'm just using a little bit of popsicle stick to kind of give them a little bit more surface area to grab hold of, and then a little bit of hot glue to fix them in place, and then a little more hot glue along the edges just to kind of reinforce the connection and make sure the windows don't come off. And then for the door, I do pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to do a fairly substantial blob of hot glue and then press the door into place. Now, this one I made with a little bit of door trim as well, and I think it came out really nice. So, again, tutorial on that to come soon. I just didn't want this video to be ridiculously long. Next up, we're going to make the chimney, and I'm using this little block of foam. This is 1.25 inches wide by about 4.5 inches tall. Now, I want a little bit of a taper towards the top just to kind of give it that classic chimney shape. So I'm just going to mark roughly 1/2 inch at the top and trim the edges towards it. And then do a little bit of a taper on the back side, and there's an area towards the house that kind of is visible, so I do a little trim there, trim down the side edges just to kind of give it a little bit more of a rounded appearance. Alright. Looks like that's going to fit pretty well, so now I need to add a little bit of texture and pattern to it. So using I started with a pencil, but then I switched to a pen. It seems to tear the foam a little less. I'm just doing little kind of circles and adding in what I'm going to call cobblestones. Now, as I'm adding these in, I'm just kind of rounding out the edges and making sure everything kind of fits together and doesn't look weird. So once that was done, I grabbed a little ball of tin foil and just kind of pressed in a little bit of stone rocky texture. Now this is some pretty dense foam, so it took a bit of effort to impregnate the texture into it, but when it's done, I think it looked pretty good, so didn't really need to worry about that. I do think like an actual rock would have been better for this though. Now, I made a little stand using some toothpicks on the back just to give me a little something to hold on to, and then sealed all of the chimney foam with some Mod Podge and black paint mixed together. Now this is going to kind of give me some dark recesses to work with, which I really like when I'm doing stone work out of anything made out of foam, and this will also harden everything to make it a lot more durable for tabletop use and gameplay. Once that dried, I used some Artist Loft Gray and did a fairly decent overbrush over the entirety of the chimney. Now, this ended up still being really, really dark, and I wanted it to be a little bit more I can't really think of anything to say other than I needed it to be more gray and less dark gray, so I ended up doing 3 coats of this just to kind of achieve the color that I wanted. And once that was dried, I did a light dry brush of some neutral gray just to kind of give it that little bit of extra definition and pop for all of the textured recesses. Alright, and then just a little bit of hot glue to attach it once all the paint dried. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, so now to finish everything out, I mixed up another batch of the wall filler spackle. So this is just a mix of some lightweight wall filler, a little bit of unbleached titanium paint, and some Mod Podge. Now, I started doing it in this process order because with the paint mixed in, it's already painted. I don't need to go over it with another coat of paint. Doing it out of a little Ziploc bag like this, I can use it like a piping bag, and I have a lot more control over it. It's a lot easier and faster to apply. I just use a toothpick to kind of smooth it out and fill in any gaps. And mixing it with some Mod Podge, the Mod Podge will dry very fast and solidify everything into place a lot faster than if I was just using the wall spackle by itself. So I'm going to fill this in kind of off camera, and it's just going to go everywhere where there isn't a window or wall trim. Alright, and that is going to be it for episode 1. This is going to be the first in a lot of houses that I'm going to put together. I think it came out really nice, and this is going to be a really nice addition to the gameplay table, and can't wait to use it for D&D or wargaming. Alright, so this was episode 1, more to follow. Thank you all for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for future content, comment in the comments section, let me know how I'm doing, how you like the series, and we will see everyone next episode.